Hi class, do you know this man? He is called the Renaissance Man, which means he's a man greatly accomplished in art, math, science, engineering, and many other fields of learning. He is Leonardo Da Vinci. He has conceptualized many great inventions which we now use today thanks to his ideas, like airplanes, helicopters, parachutes, battle tanks, and machine guns. He is really ahead of his time. How did we know so much about him? Well, that's because he left us notebooks full of his writings and drawings explaining his thoughts and learnings. He wrote them backwards too, so no one will steal his ideas. However, even though he was a great inventor and scientist, he became famous for something else: paintings. He painted many great personalities in Renaissance Italy. But what made him really famous is the La Gioconda, or better known as the Mona Lisa. So what makes it so special? In the Renaissance, portraits were painted in profile, meaning only one side of the face is seen. These portraits are meant to display the social standing of the subject, and so you see them dressed in fine clothing, draped in jewelry and luxury, symbolizing their wealth and power. But then, you have Mrs. Gioconda wearing very simple clothing with no fine embroidery whatsoever, and she isn't draped in golden pearls. Apart from that, she is looking right at us, and with a smile too. That was very unusual at that time. Also, Da Vinci developed a painting technique called Sfumato, which is a technique that softens the lines between dark and light. Isn't that beguiling? But our focus today is about egg tempera. This is the kind of paint they used back then before oil paints were introduced. So get ready to be messy because it's gonna be very messy. Well then, let's begin. I will be using chalk pastels for my pigments. We need them in powdery form, so I'm gonna have to break one down into finer bits. But any chalk is fine. Powder paints are even better if you have them. Spices in your kitchen like cinnamon, curry, paprika, turmeric, or green tea powder can also be used as paints. Main ingredient, the egg. Crack an egg and only keep the yolk, that is, the yellow bit. I am manually separating the egg white from the egg yolk. Now take something pointy and poke a hole into the egg sac, but hold onto the sac and discard it. We don't want that with our mixture. Next, take some distilled vinegar and with a straw as my water dropper, I put 1 to 2 drops of vinegar in my egg yolk. Add a little bit of water and then mix. Now, let's begin painting. I drew an outline of La Gioconda beforehand, which I will now paint with egg tempera. When the tempera is dry, my painting will have a very glossy finish. Be sure to wash your brush right away or else the egg tempera will harden the bristles. Did you enjoy our little sciencey, kitchen-y art experiment? Show me your work in the Google Classroom and be as curious and as imaginative as Leonardo da Vinci.